It's part of it, man. It's what we do. You know that.
We know when we come
Hey, man,
here.
look, it's gonna happen to all of us. It still sucks. It doesn't matter. Just glad you're okay, man.
He was the unstoppable force behind the wheel. Daddy Dave, the street racing legend from Street Outlaws. No prep kings. With his fearless driving and raw horsepower, fans saw him as untouchable. But behind the roar of Goliath and the spotlight of TV fame, a darker story unfolded. A brutal crash, mounting pressure, and personal battles nearly ended everything. What happens when your dream almost kills you? This is the untold tragedy of Daddy Dave. His rise, his fall, and the cost of chasing speed at any price. Born to race. David Comstock, known to fans as Daddy Dave, was born on April 4, 1973, in Shawnee, Oklahoma. From a young age, Dave was captivated by the world of cars. His father owned a 1978 Chevrolet Impala, and by the time Dave was 16, he was behind the wheel, feeling the thrill of the engine's roar and the road beneath him. This early exposure ignited a passion that would shape his future. Dave's teenage years were spent immersed in the local car scene. He wasn't just driving, he was learning, modifying, and understanding every nuance of vehicle performance. His dedication led him to purchase a 1996 GMC Sonoma S10 pickup truck, which he transformed into a formidable racing machine. This wasn't just a hobby, it was the beginning of a legacy. His prowess on the streets of Oklahoma didn't go unnoticed. Dave earned the moniker Daddy Dave and quickly became a dominant figure in the underground racing community. His skills and victories on the track solidified his reputation as one of the best. Racing isn't just about speed, it's about heart, Dave once remarked, encapsulating his approach to the sport. Beyond the streets, Dave's commitment to his craft was evident. He continuously sought ways to improve, pushing boundaries and setting new standards. His journey from a young enthusiast to a street racing legend is a testament to his unwavering dedication and passion. As Dave's reputation grew, so did opportunities beyond the local scene. His talent and tenacity caught the attention of television producers, leading to appearances that would introduce him to a national audience. But before the bright lights and cameras, there was a pivotal moment, a chance meeting that would change the trajectory of his career forever. From pickup to powerhouse. The 1996 GMC Sonoma S10 wasn't just a truck. In Dave's hands, it became a symbol of innovation and dominance. With meticulous modifications, he transformed this vehicle into Goliath, a racing powerhouse that left competitors in the dust. The combination of nitrous systems and performance tuning made Goliath a force to be reckoned with on the streets. Dave's success with Goliath wasn't solely due to the machine's capabilities. His deep understanding of vehicle dynamics, combined with an innate driving instinct, set him apart. He once shared, "It's not just about the car. It's about knowing every sound, every vibration, and responding in harmony." This synergy between man and machine was evident in every race. The streets of Oklahoma became the stage where Dave showcased his skills. Race after race, Goliath proved its mettle, and Dave's legend grew. His dominance wasn't just about winning. It was about setting benchmarks and redefining what's possible in street racing. However, with rising fame came new challenges. The underground racing scene was evolving, and Dave's journey was about to take a significant turn, introducing him to a broader audience and new arenas of competition. While Goliath solidified Dave's status locally, a new opportunity was on the horizon. A television show aiming to spotlight the raw energy of street racing was in the works. This platform would not only amplify Dave's fame, but also introduce him to a wider audience. setting the stage for the next chapter in his racing saga. Meeting Big Chief. In 2009, Dave's path intersected with Justin Big Chief Shearer during the filming of the reality show Pinks. This encounter wasn't just a meeting of two racers. It was the beginning of a partnership that would redefine street racing on television. Their shared passion and mutual respect laid the foundation for a dynamic duo that fans would come to adore. Their chemistry was palpable, both on and off the track. Together, they brought authenticity to the screen, showcasing the true spirit of street racing. Big Chief once noted, "Dave brings a level of intensity that's unmatched. Racing with him isn't just competition, it's an experience." Their camaraderie resonated with audiences, making them central figures in the racing community. Their collaboration extended beyond races. They shared insights, strategies, and a vision for elevating the street racing scene. Their combined efforts played a pivotal role in the success of Street Outlaws, a show that brought underground racing into mainstream consciousness. This partnership wasn't just about racing. It was about mutual growth, challenges, and triumphs. Together, Dave and Big Chief navigated the highs and lows of fame, always anchored by their shared love for the sport. As their bond strengthened and their fame grew, Dave faced one of the most challenging moments of his career. A devastating crash would test his resilience, determination, and passion for racing. This incident wasn't just a setback, it was a defining moment that would shape the next phase of his journey. Street Outlaws fame. By 2013, the underground world of street racing was about to go mainstream. Discovery Channel launched a new reality series called Street Outlaws, and Daddy Dave was right in the middle of it. His reputation on the Oklahoma racing scene made him a perfect fit, and from the moment he appeared on screen, fans couldn't get enough. With his intense focus, no-nonsense attitude, and unmatched precision, Dave quickly rose to national attention. He wasn't flashy like some of the other drivers, but that made him even more authentic. Viewers loved how he treated every race like it was life or death. His quiet confidence and serious nature became his trademark. "Dave doesn't talk a lot," one co-star said. "He just wins." Episode after episode, Daddy Dave dominated his competition. With Goliath under him and years of experience behind the wheel, he became a core pillar of the show's success. What made Dave even more compelling was that he didn't seem interested in fame. He wasn't there for the cameras. He was there to race. That made him relatable to fans who wanted to see real talent, not just reality TV drama. Behind the scenes, however, the pressure was building. Long shoots, growing expectations, and non-stop competition were taking a toll. The fame he never asked for was becoming impossible to avoid. Still, for Dave, Street Outlaws was a game-changer. He became a household name in the racing world. His fan base exploded, but as his star rose higher, it also meant the stakes were rising too. Every race meant more. Every mistake could be broadcast across the country. And just when he seemed untouchable, everything changed. No matter how good you are, racing always carries risk. And in 2015, Daddy Dave faced the ultimate nightmare for any driver. One mistake at high speed, and everything he had built, his car, his career, his health, was nearly destroyed in a split second. What came next was more than a crash. It was a turning point that tested everything he stood for. Speed meets reality. It was supposed to be another thrilling race, but in 2015, while piloting Goliath, Dave lost control at dangerously high speed. His truck veered off course and slammed into a concrete wall with terrifying force. The scene was chaos, metal twisted, smoke rising, and fans watching in horror. In that moment, one of the show's strongest drivers lay injured, and everything went silent. Dave suffered serious injuries, head trauma, back damage, and internal bruising. He was airlifted to the hospital. Many feared the worst. "I thought I was done," he later admitted. "I couldn't feel my legs at first." The truck, Goliath, was totaled, crushed beyond repair. It was the end of a chapter, and it nearly ended everything. But Dave, even in pain, started thinking about how to come back. His road to recovery wasn't easy. He spent weeks in a hospital bed, followed by months of physical therapy. The injuries were one thing, but the mental scars ran deeper. Dave was known for his control and confidence. Now he had to relearn how to trust his body and his instincts. "It humbles you," he said. "You find out fast who you really are when the speed stops." What shocked fans wasn't just the crash. It was how quickly Dave focused on getting back. He wasn't looking for sympathy. He wanted solutions. That same drive that made him a champion now pushed him through the hardest fight of his life. And with the wreckage of Goliath behind him, a new project began. The comeback was already in motion. If Goliath was the machine that made Daddy Dave famous, the next car would be the one that defined his legacy. The world had seen him fall, but now they were about to see him rise again. And this time, it wouldn't just be about speed. It would be about resilience, precision, and building something that could never be broken. Goliath 2.0. After the crash, Dave didn't waste time feeling sorry for himself. Instead, he started sketching designs for a new car, one that would surpass Goliath in both power and control. The result? Goliath 2.0, a twin-turbo 1963 Chevy Nova that would become his ultimate weapon. Sleeker, meaner, and built from the ground up, this car wasn't just fast. It was personal. The build took months. Every part was chosen with precision. Dave was deeply involved, working late hours in the garage, pouring every ounce of his knowledge into the machine. He partnered with some of the best tuners and fabricators in the country. "This isn't just a car, it's redemption," he told a friend during the process. And when Goliath 2.0 hit the track, people knew he meant business. Fans were blown away by the transformation. Goliath 2.0 wasn't just a return, it was a statement. The twin-turbo setup delivered brutal acceleration, while the body was lighter and more aerodynamic than its predecessor. Dave's first race back was met with cheers and nervous silence. But when the green light dropped and that engine roared, Daddy Dave was back. And he wasn't holding anything back. More than a comeback vehicle, Goliath 2.0 was a symbol of survival. It represented everything Dave had gone through: the pain, the doubt, the fight to rebuild. "I had to prove to myself that I could still do this," he said. And with every run, every victory, every push to the limit, Goliath 2.0 told the world that Daddy Dave hadn't just survived, he had evolved. But rebuilding a car is one thing. Rebuilding a life takes more. With fans cheering him on, Dave had regained his place on the track. Yet off the track, new pressures were forming, from fame, business, and family. What happens when the comeback is complete, but the battle still isn't over? Up next, we see the man behind the wheel like never before. More than a driver, Daddy Dave isn't just a racer. He's a businessman, too. While fans know him for burning rubber, few realize the amount of hustle happening behind the scenes. Dave owns and runs Comstock Auto Service in Oklahoma, where he works on performance cars and helps other enthusiasts chase their own speed dreams. It's not a side gig, it's a real business, with real hours, and it's run by a man who truly knows engines. He also launched his own merchandise brand, selling hats, t-shirts, and car accessories online. Every sale goes back into his racing operations. He uses social media, especially Facebook and Instagram, to share new designs, limited edition drops, and updates on his projects. Fans aren't just supporters, he once posted. They're the fuel that keeps me going. With over 1.4 million followers on Facebook and 620,000 on Instagram, his reach is powerful. But like any small business owner, the balance between branding, building, and racing isn't easy. Dave has to juggle sponsorship deals, manage shop inventory, fulfill orders, and still find time to test his cars and travel for races. He's admitted in interviews that sometimes the business side is more exhausting than the track. "You're never really off the clock," he said. Still, his grit shows. Whether it's tuning a car in the back of the shop or responding to a fan comment online, Dave brings the same intensity he shows on the strip. Behind the fame, the man is still a hustler, grinding to stay ahead, both in racing and in life. But not everything in Dave's world revolves around horsepower and merch drops. When the helmet comes off and the engine cools down, he returns home to a life few fans ever see. In the next chapter, we step into his personal world, the one where he's not a racer or a business owner, but a husband and a father, behind the helmet. At home, Daddy Dave is just David Comstock, a husband, a dad, and a man trying to hold it all together. He's been married to Cassie Comstock since March 1st, 2013. Long before the cameras and sponsorships, Cassie was by his side, supporting him through local street races and late nights in the garage. She's been his quiet strength. The couple has 2 daughters, though they've chosen to keep them out of the spotlight. Dave is fiercely protective of his family's privacy. "My girls didn't sign up for this life. I did," he explained. While the public gets glimpses of race day adrenaline, his daughters see the long drives, the injuries, and the exhaustion. And still, they cheer the loudest. Cassie has been through it all: the fame, the crash, the rebuild. When Dave was hospitalized after the Goliath accident, she didn't leave his side. During his recovery, she helped manage the shop and kept their home together. In a rare post, Dave wrote, "Without her, there wouldn't be a Daddy Dave, period." At home in Oklahoma City, Dave finds peace. Whether it's grilling in the backyard or wrenching on a project in silence, the domestic side of his life is what keeps him grounded. As wild as racing gets, he's never lost sight of what matters most. "Racing feeds my soul," he said once, "but family keeps me alive." But even with a loving family and a successful shop, there are struggles that fans never see. The crash left behind more than scars. It left invisible weight on his mind. Dave wasn't just rebuilding a car. He was trying to rebuild confidence, peace, and purpose. What came next showed just how deep the emotional toll of street racing really runs. The pain behind the wheel. The 2015 crash wasn't just a setback. It was a wake-up call. Physically, Dave suffered serious injuries. He had back pain, headaches, and nerve damage that lingered long after the cast came off. But it was the mental toll that hit hardest. The body heals, the mind. "That's a different story," he said during a post-race interview. For a man known for fearless driving, the fear crept in slowly. Every time he climbed back into the seat, the memory of the crash was there. "You don't unsee the wall coming at you," he said. Fans saw the comeback, but they didn't see the anxiety. The nights he questioned whether he could do it again, or if he should. There was pressure from every direction. Sponsors expected wins. Fans wanted action. The Street Outlaws crew needed high-stakes drama. But Dave didn't just want to race. He wanted to live. He began opening up about mental health, encouraging young drivers to take care of their minds as well as their machines. "I love the speed, but I've learned to respect the fear, too." Even now, years later, the crash still haunts him. Some days are better than others. He's found new strength through his family, his faith, and his fans. But the road to recovery isn't always a straight one. For Dave, every time he straps in, he's not just racing others. He's racing against the ghosts of his own past. With every race, Dave was pushing through pain most people couldn't see. But the world of Street Outlaws was evolving, and the challenges weren't over. As the scene shifted into the ultra-competitive world of no-prep kings, Dave would have to adapt once again, on slicker tracks, with faster rivals, and even higher stakes. From street to strip, when No Prep Kings launched, it was a different beast. Unlike traditional street races, the No Prep tracks had no rubber laid down, making them slick, unpredictable, and dangerous. For veterans like Daddy Dave, who were used to reading the road and using their instincts, this meant completely rewiring their racing style. But Dave didn't back down. Instead, he leaned into the challenge. Dave had to make changes to Goliath 2.0's entire setup. More grip, tighter suspension, and power that could be controlled, not just unleashed. No prep is about control, not chaos, he said. You can't just go all out. You gotta drive smart. With his decades of experience, Dave started figuring out how to win on this new terrain. The competition in No Prep Kings was intense. Drivers came from all over the country, hungry, fearless, and younger. Dave knew he was stepping into a war zone. But with every race, he proved he wasn't just a veteran. He was still a contender. He didn't win every run, but every pass was a lesson, and every lesson made him sharper. Fans were thrilled to see Dave adapt and evolve. He wasn't the loudest guy on the show, but his presence was undeniable. In an era of flash and ego, Daddy Dave kept it steady, focused, fast, and always calculating. "I don't need to talk," he said. "I let the car do that." Dave's transition to No Prep Kings wasn't just about track changes. It was about redefining what it meant to be a champion. But as the game evolved, so did the machines. And in 2022, Dave shocked fans again, not with a crash or a comeback, but with a completely new car. A fresh build for a new chapter. Latest builds. In 2022, Dave revealed something no one saw coming. A 2022 Audi S, custom-built for No Prep Kings Season 6. It was sleek, elegant, and totally different from his usual American muscle builds. Some fans were surprised. Others were stunned. But Dave had a reason. "Sometimes you've got to think ahead," he said. "This car's about precision, not just power." The Audi was packed with innovation, lightweight components, aerodynamic shaping, and a twin-turbo engine setup designed for modern track dynamics. It wasn't just fast. It was refined. Unlike the brute force of Goliath, the Audi brought speed through engineering finesse. Dave wasn't abandoning his roots. He was evolving with the sport. Many fans saw this as a turning point. Dave had nothing left to prove in terms of street credentials. This build was about pushing boundaries, showing what could happen when a racer applied decades of knowledge to something completely new. "It's not about going back," he said. "It's about going forward with everything you've learned." Of course, not everyone loved the switch. Some die-hard muscle car fans felt betrayed. But Dave, as always, stayed focused. He wasn't trying to impress anyone. He was trying to build something that could compete and win on today's terms. The Audi might not roar like Goliath, but it still flew like hell when the light turned green. Every build tells a story. From the raw brutality of Goliath to the sleek dominance of the Audi S5, Dave's journey through machines mirrors his journey as a man. But beneath the steel and chrome lies the real story, the pain, pressure, and grief that fame can't fix. And that story became clear in the quiet moments that followed. The tragedy that changed it all. It's easy to admire racers for their wins, but what people often miss is what it costs them to keep going. After the crash and the recovery, Dave returned stronger, but not unscarred. The emotional toll stayed with him. The pain never fully went away. And off camera, that pressure started to show. Friends noticed at first how Dave seemed quieter, more withdrawn after big races, how he'd disappear for weeks, not posting, not replying. "People see me on TV and think I've got it all figured out," he once posted. "Truth is, I'm still figuring it out." Behind the racing mask was a man battling fear, doubt, and burnout. He also began to open up slowly about how hard it was to balance it all: business, family, media, and the expectation to win. The fame that once seemed like a dream became a weight. Dave was grateful, but also exhausted. He said, "When everyone's watching, it feels like you can't mess up. Sometimes, I'm just tired." What many didn't know was that the 2015 crash left behind more than physical pain. It changed how Dave saw racing, risk, and his own limits. He still loved it, but he was learning to set boundaries, to protect himself. For a man who once raced like nothing could stop him, learning to slow down might have been his hardest challenge yet. Behind the roar of engines and the flash of fame, Daddy Dave remains something more than a legend. He's a survivor. And as the spotlight dims after each race, what matters isn't just the trophies or the cars. It's the legacy. Up next, we look at the emotional core of Dave's story, why he still does it, and what keeps him going, why he still races. For Dave, racing was never just about winning. It was about proving something. As a kid in Shawnee, Oklahoma, he didn't have money or fame. What he had was grit and a love for the road. Every race since then has been a step toward becoming something more. "I'm not supposed to be here," he said, "but I am, because I earned it." Even now, after injuries, burnout, and years of pressure, he still races. Not because he has to, but because it's who he is. The adrenaline, the buildup, the roar, it still lights something inside him. Fans see the fire in his eyes at the starting line. He may be 50, but when the lights go down, he's still that 16-year-old in his dad's Impala. And it's not just for himself. Dave races for his daughters, so they can see what it means to fight for something. He races for fans who grew up watching him. He races for the guy with a toolbox and a dream who just needs to believe it's possible. "If I can do it," he says, "so can you." That's the real tragedy and the real triumph. Knowing how close he came to losing it all, and still choosing to get back in the seat. Daddy Dave isn't just a street outlaw. He's living proof that passion, pain, and perseverance can take you further than fear ever could. Daddy Dave's story is more than burnt rubber and race wins. It's a story of pain, grit, and resilience. After nearly losing his life, he rebuilt not just his car, but his identity. Through setbacks and silence, he proved true strength doesn't come from horsepower. It comes from heart. As the lights fade and the engines cool, fans still feel the impact of his legacy. What he left on the track is unforgettable. If his journey moved you, share this story. And remember, the road to greatness is never smooth, but some still choose to race it anyway.